Hello and welcome to another edition of Sport Tales. If you're wondering what are these sneakers doing in a sports capsule, well, let me tell you, because today's story is based on these sneakers, because the one responsible for one of these most iconic shoes that you can get in the market is a sports person. So you're watching Sports Tale. Let's get down to business. So what you're seeing right now are Air Jordans. Those of you familiar with the sneaker market, you know they're the most iconic shoes coming out now for more than 4 decades. There are different ones lying here. These, for example, are Air Force Ones. These are low dunks. This is the Air Jordan 6. There are plenty other varieties. At the moment, this has become an industry where you have shoe collectors that sell each other Air Jordans from various years and actually end up making a lot of money. So it's become a collector's item, even though it is a everyday product as well, which you can go in the market and buy. But also certain editions of Air Jordans now go for thousands of dollars because they've become a collector's item. The most expensive Air Jordan ever sold was for $2.2 million, and that was the Air Jordans that was owned by none other than Michael Jordan himself. He wore those shoes during his last dance, that is his finale with Chicago Bulls. He wore those shoes in game 2, and those shoes have sold on for that much money. But those are shoes worn by celebrities. Even the regular Air Jordans, which could be in limited edition, that may have come out in a few years, now very scarcely available in the market, they are also sold for a lot of money. But today's story is about the Michael Jordan connection and how a single sports person completely changed the landscape of the sneaker industry world over. Let's start with the year 1984, because that's where our story starts. And at that time, the basketball industry that is controlled by a shoe company called Converse. So Converse controls about 54% share, the basketball shoe share market in the US of A, followed by Adidas that controls 29%, and Nike at that time is and also ran. It is third in terms of number of shoes it sells or the kind of market that it controls, only at 17%. So it's a minor player in the market. Converse is number 1 by a huge margin, followed by Adidas. Nike is third. But things are about to change, because in 1984, a young kid called Michael Jordan comes up for the NBA draft. Now, at that time, Michael Jordan is also not the number 1 draft. He's been spoken about in the college circles, and people know that he could be one of the top picks in the NBA draft. At that time, Converse tells Michael Jordan, which is the number 1 player, that listen, yeah, we can sign you, we can pay you, but you won't be our number 1 player. Why? Because there are 2 big basketball superstars at that time, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. They are brand ambassadors of Converse. So they say, okay, we'll sign you, but you're not going to be on our hoardings, you're not going to be our number 1 players because you're a rookie. So Michael Jordan doesn't want to go with Converse. Michael Jordan wants to go with Adidas at the time, because Adidas do promise him that they'll he'll be their number 1 star, and that's a company that he likes, and he's made up his mind that he wants to sign for Adidas. But Adidas tells him that yes, they'll sign him, but they're not going to give a specific shoe line dedicated to him. So there will be no Michael Jordan shoe line in particular, but they're ready to sign him. That's where Nike really steps in. Nike wants to sign a young Michael Jordan. At that time, there is the marketing executive, Sonny Vaccaro from Nike. He's convinced that Nike should sign Michael Jordan, and that will change the game for them. But the CEO of the company, the owner of the company, are not really interested, because they need a lot of money to sign a Michael Jordan. So at that time, they are ready to offer about $1 lakh US to sign him. That's the rough budget that rookies are signed on at, even the top rated rookies at that time. But Vaccaro at that time convinces his bosses that no, give me a larger budget. So they give the entire sports budget of Nike, they pull it only to one athlete called Michael Jordan, give him $250,000 US. They offer him to come to them, and with that there is an addition of that. They also say, you know what, we are going to give you your own private line of shoes. We'll give you a a Michael Jordan shoe, a line of your personalized shoes that we'll sell in the market. So come to us. That is what they tell Michael Jordan, driven by that marketing executive called Sonny Vaccaro, and that's how they get the signature of Michael Jordan. But this is only the start of the story. So now you must be wondering, what is it that Sonny Vaccaro saw in Michael Jordan to convince his bosses to sign him? Well, for that, the story goes back a few more years from 84, 2 years back, 1982, when Michael Jordan played his first year in college basketball. And in that season, his team, University of North Carolina, plays the final and they win the college championship. In that particular game, Michael Jordan hits the winning basket. Now remember, in his college career, Michael Jordan does not hold the record for most points. He does not hold the record for most rebounds. He does not hold the record for most assists. All these aspects of the game, there is somebody else who's the leader. Michael Jordan is not. Yet, Vaccaro is convinced that this is the guy that we need to buy. This is the guy who'll be a future superstar, because he looks at that game-winning shot, and what he notices there, that there is just few microseconds left on the shot clock and the final shot has to be taken, and the team passes the ball to Michael Jordan, who takes the shot and nails it. So what he says is there were two other players who had better point scoring record than Michael Jordan in the team, but the team still passes the ball to Michael Jordan, and that was planned. And when the ball is passed to Michael Jordan, he's asking for the ball, and when he takes that shot, he's supremely confident taking that shot. So what Vaccaro tells his CEO, tells the owner, is that what I see is that the team also knew that when it was crunch time, when it was a crucial time, this is the guy. There are better shooters in the team, but this is the guy who will get you that crucial basket when it really counts. And because Michael Jordan, to him, seemed like the guy who enjoys that pressure, enjoys the crunch situation, he's convinced that he will go on to become a big superstar. That's how Nike is convinced. That's why they put all their eggs in one basket, which sometimes is not very prudent in the world of marketing, but Nike do it on the saying of that marketing executive. And guess what? It turns out to be a masterstroke. Why do I call it a masterstroke? Because the first year, Nike estimated, or at least they set their targets, that if they sold Air Jordans worth $3 million, they would have done a great deal by signing Michael Jordan. But guess what? How many did they sell the first year itself? Worth 126 million US dollar. That's how much Air Jordan sells in the first year, exceeding their expectations by a million miles. That's how well they do in the first year itself. But there is also a lot of backup. Like, while we are giving credit to Michael Jordan to have taken Nike that far, there must be credit to Nike first for believing in him, and secondly, the other interesting bit at that time they did was back him with various marketing campaigns. So the first year when Michael Jordan wears those Air Jordans and plays, those shoes at that time were quite similar to this color combination. Only thing, it was, instead of black and red that you see, it was completely white and red. That's the shoe that Michael Jordan wore, the first Air Jordan in that year 1985. That was against the clause set by NBA. They said that no, they are breaching our color code, and so you are not allowed to play. But Michael Jordan was contemplating what to do. Nike said, no, you play with these particular shoes, we will pay the fine. So there was a fine of 5,000 US dollar every time he wore those shoes for a game. Nike said, no problem, you wear the shoes, we'll pay 5,000 USD. So they paid that for every game, that fine Nike paid. What Nike smartly did was use that as a campaign. One, they got a lot of publicity because it became a news item, that controversy. Secondly, they put an ad out saying that, listen, we as a Nike company have created revolutionary basketball shoes that are worn by Michael Jordan, one of the rising stars of NBA. But guess what? NBA is not allowing him to wear these shoes and play. But tell you what, you, the customer, can go to the market, buy these revolutionary shoes, and you can play with it wherever you play, in college, in school, for fun, outside, wherever you play basketball, you can buy it from the market, you can wear it, because NBA cannot stop you. So do that. That actually worked as a marketing campaign, and people went and bought a lot of Air Jordans. That is why their sales in the first year itself touched $126 million. What are the numbers now? close to 400 million. Even now, Michael Jordan makes, because of the sale of Air Jordans every year, close to 400 million he makes every year. It's estimated that he's already made about 1.5 billion US dollars by associating his name with Air Jordans, by collaborating with Nike. So that's the total number. And I, at the start of the story, told you Nike had only a 17% share in the basketball market. Today, Nike has a 54% share in sports shoes all over the world, globally, forget just the US. That's how much Nike has come, all down to one man, and he was a superstar of basketball, Michael Jordan. I hope you enjoyed this story. Give us a like if you did. And just to make it clear, this is not a paid video by Nike. I decided to wear the competitor in Adidas as my jersey. So give us a like, share it with your sports loving friend, and for more such content, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today.